Hey guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel where I'm Michelle and making fantasies come true one story at a time. And today we are going to be talking about Shelly. So, real quick information, for those of you guys who do not know, my name is Michelle. I am an indie author who has dreams and desires to become a traditionally published author. I have 4 different pen names that I write under. They are Grace, Shelly, Maris, and Marianne. And each one of them is actually an alter within my system. I am somebody who has some sort of dissociative disorder, never been officially diagnosed with anything, and I try not to talk about it too much. Like, I'll say, like, I have multiple personalities and I talk about my 4 pen names, but going into details about it, I try not to do just because I feel like I'm uneducated. Even though my my therapist is like, you are more educated than you give yourself credit for. But still, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole of kind of describing all my stuff or describing what, just going down the rabbit hole with multiple personalities. Just because I feel, again, like I'm unequipped, but also I don't want, like, if kids watch my show, watch my YouTube videos, I don't want them to get the idea that, I don't know, like, I'm just so scared of influencing kids to think that this is normal, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, it is normal to have multiple personalities, but, like, give them idea that this is okay to do. Like, you can, I don't know. It's so weird. It's in this, like, middle state that I'm like, yes, no, yes, no. If any of you guys watching would like to know, would like to get in contact with me and we can talk about life with multiple personalities, I would love to do that. Like, we could get, like, a little group together, talking about life as a creative while also being, having a multiple personalities, like having system. And if you're writers out there, like, if you want to get in, like, we could do so many things. I don't think we're at that level to do it yet, but if you guys are somebody who has multiple personalities, please leave it down in the description below. I would love to get to know you. If you have a YouTube channel, tell me about it. I would love to just see how you live your life, kind of thing. But anyways, today I'm going to be talking about Shelly. So Shelly is one of my pen names. She actually is the only one that's got released books as of right now. She released the very first book that she ever released was back in 2023, I believe. And then in 2025, we kind of revamped that series, kind of giving him a different book cover. So this is what the book looks like. This is Bugztopia PD, The Attack on A&T Hill. This is book 1 in a 6-book series. But while we were writing this, we knew that Bugztopia was more than this 6-book series. Also, I should note that Shelly, she writes her books for our nieces and nephews. We currently have 2 nieces and 1 nephew. The Bugztopia books are for our nephew, but he, like, yes, it's for him, but he wanted them to have tie-ins to his siblings, so his siblings not necessarily make an appearance, but their names do. Like, Shelly writes books for our nieces and nephews, and as of late, we've been taking a pause from working on Bugztopia, just because, honestly, it's because we weren't able to continue to release books. So we wanted to release book 7, which I do have a copy of, like, the rough copy, like, the first proof that I did. And I was like, we want to release this back in, I think we were gonna shoot for the end, September of 2025, but then we had to push it back and we were gonna release it this year. But again, we had to push it back because we don't have the income to release the 8 books in this next season of books. And the reason for that is because, like, our covers, like, we do most of it by ourselves, but we have this cover image, and the character art for, like, the characters, we have as the chapter headers. The cover art is like $200 a pop. Then the character art, which we already have the character art done, but that's like $175 for the 2 characters as well. So it's a little pricey. It's not pricey. It's just, as somebody who is on a fixed income, we can't afford that. And because we can't afford it, it's like, well, what do we do kind of thing. So we're like, okay, what do we do? Like, we want to continue to release Bugztopia books, but at the same point, we're like, we can't because we don't have finances. And like I said, we're on a fixed income. Our brother gives us money each month to help us survive, but we're not going to ask our brother to pay for our cover images, because it's our books. It's not his books. It's our books. And it would just feel kind of off. So we decided to take a break from Bugztopia. We stopped working on it for like 6 months, pretty much this whole year we stopped working on it. I think we even stopped working on it back in November of 2025. So it's been a lot of like not doing anything with it. And back in March, we had this idea of becoming a religious sister. And if we were going to be a sister, we felt like everything we did had to be Christian related. So like all the books we read, we had to be Christian. All the writing we did had to be Christian. So it was like we were struggling with the concept of becoming a sister. And because of that, Shelly and Maris, 2 of our pen names that are more fantasy elements that don't necessarily relate to Christian Catholic values. And so we were like, okay, we're going to push them out. But at the same point, like, as I said, we're somebody with multiple personalities. And if you are a system, like, you can't just push out one of your alters to make your life easier. Like, your alters, your parts are what makes you you. Like, imagine a puzzle. Like, every part of you, every part, alter, headmate is one of the pieces in the puzzle. And if you were to take one of those pieces out, you would be left with an incomplete puzzle. And for me, I was trying to cut out like 2 to 3 different alters who were very, like, not anti-Catholic, but I was trying to cut these alters out, and I was trying to cut these puzzle pieces out. So it was like gaps, and I never got the full picture of me, and I felt bad about it. I was like, there's something, like, I was just going through a rough time with some mental health, being like, I want to be a sister. I want to continue to write. And at a certain point, Shelly was like, look, I get you want to be a sister, but at the end of the day, I'm tired of not working on my books. I'm tired of feeling as if I am pushed to the side and as if I am not part of the system kind of thing. Like, she's like, you care a lot about your family. Like, as a system, we all care about our family. And, like, if we were to cut Shelly completely out, like, we wouldn't write a book series for our 2 nieces, So it's like, we would almost be we would almost be classifying our nephew as our favorite, when realistically it was just because he was the firstborn. But it felt wrong. And I knew that going into it. I knew that it felt wrong in all aspects of the way. So, back in July, we started to work on Bugztopia. What we're going to be doing is honestly rewriting, editing, tweaking the first 6 books and all the books that we have already written. But we are going to hopefully make them into more like novelish length books, or at least, here, let me get out another middle grade read. But we want them to be kind of like this kind of thickness rather than this thickness. We just want to bulk up the world and kind of expand the world, really dive deep into world building and stuff like that, because the later books in the series were bigger books, but the first 6 were very underwritten. And so it was like, we need to work on it. And so that's what we're going to be doing. But it's also important to note that back in, I believe, 2025. I don't remember what month. But we started a second YouTube channel, which was originally called Author Shelly Middle Grade Author. We have now recently changed it to Shelly Kitz Middle Grade Author. But this was a place specifically for Shelly to work on her books and write it. But we're struggling right now because, like, okay, what happened was we took a break from writing Bugztopia, but also marketing Bugztopia, because when summer hits, me and my dad were working on my house. We're trying to remodel it, like redo windows, siding, some of the interior stuff we're redoing and stuff like that. So there's some things being worked on. And I'm just like, I needed to take a break from it. And honestly, before summer hit, back in May, I was like, I didn't have a lot of content coming out on that channel just because I didn't know what I was doing. I was very lost with what I was doing. Like, all I did was talk about Bugztopia, like, the world, but also at the same point, I knew I was stopping writing it. So I was like, I don't know what to do. So what my goal is, hopefully, like, I want it to be in August, but it might be September, October timeframe. I'm not sure. I think I want to get back to YouTube on for the Shelly Kitz YouTube channel in September, just because, like, I want September in my world, or at least in Shelly's world, to be called Buzztember. Because September is whenever I first release Bugztopia. Like, all first books in the seasons of different books for Bugztopia is releasing in September. So September is going to be Buzztember. And I want to, like, really, like, my ideal idea is to have it kind of like how Sarah Cannon does her Spooktacular, but centered on Bugztopia for September. And as I get more books released, like when my niece's books come out, like those books will also be on the author Shelly, like on that author page, and still be released in September. So I was like, okay, I know I want to do this, but I still was like, I don't know what to put on the two YouTube channels. You know, like there's this one, which I try to post like 3 videos a week on this channel. And this video is going up on Tuesday, the 11th. And I'm just like, I need to get this video recorded. I've also been struggling with wanting to record. But I'm like, I try to post 3 videos a week on this channel. And I feel like the Author Shelly page kind of goes under the wayside. So I'm like, I'm trying to like balance my life out a little bit more than it is currently. Like, I have, hold on, I have random stuff all laid out on my desk, but I have this new routine that I would like to stick to. Like, it has me have 3 different sessions of like morning writing, afternoon writing, and evening writing, which evening writing is more like prayer time. That's really focused on like journaling and, possibly researching saints. But I'm like, I want my afternoon time to be specifically dedicated to Shelly. And so I'm like, okay, that's what I want to do, because I'm going to be rewriting the Bugztopia series and eventually having them re-released. Hopefully by then I'll be able to have an LLC. But I'm like, what do I do with Shelly? What do I do? Like, how do I distinguish the Chaotic Kitz branding to the Author Shelly page? To the Author Shelly page and her branding. So what am I going to do? So I first kind of was like evaluating, what do I want on the Chaotic Kitz channel? So for me, the Chaotic Kitz channel has always been a place for me and my system members to work on their books. Like I said, this is like, I feel like I've said this before, but this channel is meant for me and my system members to communicate, work on our books, feel connected with the world in a more personal way, which again, this may seem like I'm like on this channel, you may think I'm not being personal. But this is as personal and as this is as personal as I get. I don't go into details, but I feel like I go into a little bit of details. But so I'm like, that is an essence of who I am. So like on this channel, like for the Chaotic Kitz, like when I post the 3 videos, I have pretty much like ideas of what each video is, like what it's gonna be. So like Sundays are book reviews. So I do book reviews about all the books that I've finished reading. I think as of this point, I finished 16 or 17 different books. No, I think that's too many, but I finished like 15 books. And all but one of them has a book review. I've only started this as of recently in 2026. Then I also want to have faith content because I still am very connected with my faith. I want it to reflect who I am as a person, even though I know going into it, some of my altars are not religious, but a lot of us are, and we have deep ties to our religion. So that kind of happens on like on Thursdays. But also on Thursdays is a lot of like weekend things that we do. So on weekends we read, we do religious days as well. So it's like religiously focused videos, religious or reading videos. And then on Tuesdays, we ideally want those to be writing days. So like, that's kind of our content. Like our 3 pillars are books, writing, religion, or Catholicism. Those are our 3 tiers, and we try to separate them into different days kind of thing. And we're like, okay, that's the content. But I was like, on the author Shelly page, we're like, we still need to have that like deep-rooted writing style. And we're like, how do we have 2 different writing stuff while not making them both be the same? And what we decided was so on like the difference between them is the Chaotic Kitz channels. Like on the Chaotic Kitz channel, it's going to be more focused on traditional publishing because the books we're currently working on primarily is JJ's project. JJ is a young adult Christian fiction coming of age storyline with a character who has dissociative identity disorder or some sort of dissociative disorder. And just like me. And I want that book to be traditionally published, picked up by an indie publishing house, really heavily focused on Christian books. Also on this channel, we'll focus on like my picture books that I have desires to write about different saints. So like Chaotic Kitz is going to be more heavily young adult picture book. I mean traditionally published religious books. And this is going to be solely traditionally published route while also documenting how I'm getting to that point. And then for the author Shelly page, it's going to be more indie publishing. And when I mean indie, I mean like getting the Bugztopia books to be the point that I'm more happy with them. Doing like how I do like formatting and stuff like that. But also with the indie side, I'll talk about some of the like author events that I go to. So like I have ideas to, once school starts up, I want to do more school visits, like doing author readings. I also want to see if I can get in to talk to different grades, like on different schools, do talk at different grade levels and talk about writing and how like, you know, people talk about talk about traditionally publishing. Also talk about how plotters and pantsers, just have like different topics I talk about and showing them to different kids, because writing, like I feel like for a local area, there's a lot more creative. Well, never mind. I'm not going to say it, but like growing up, I never had somebody talk to me about writing or publishing books, you know, and I want to be that for somebody else. And also like continuing to do school visits. And like with the indie side, like the reason I want Bugztopia to be an indie published book is because of the fact that like it's a very family orientated setup. Like, I want it to be very, like, family-run kind of small business. Ideally, I would love to have my nieces and nephews eventually when they get old enough to be part of the business. But first, there has to be a business to do, you know? But, like, my ideal goal with Shelly is to have a storefront, which again will tie into the rest of my rest of my pen names. But for the author Shelly branding, I want to have a storefront where indie authors can come, or local Kansas authors can come, sell their books, do book signings and stuff like that. But also have a place for like other kids to just come in and relax. Yeah, so basically I'll eventually do a video for the author Shelly page and talk more about what each, like, more focus on the goals and aspirations for that pen name. But that is kind of what, like, is going to happen with with author Shelly, and how I'm dividing the traditional publishing side and the indie publishing side. Yeah, that's kind of what you can expect. And if you want to be more indie focusing tradition publishing, possibly go over to the Chaotic Kitz channel. But I will say that also will heavily be influenced by middle grade specifically, because I will continue to do book readings on each of my books. I currently have playlists for books 1 through 4. I will plan on doing book 5 sometime this year. It just depends. But I plan on the author Shelly page to do like reading vlogs specifically focused on middle grade books that I read. Also, also the writing craft books that I read as well. So I don't know how to describe it. Like, Chaotic Kitz is going to be my life as a Catholic creator trying to get traditionally published, while the author Shelly page is going to be more indie publishing with a huge tie-in to family and middle grade stuff. Yeah, I don't know if this video is making sense, but that's kind of what you can expect from this content on this channel. And also for the author Shelly page. Again, I'll have a link down in the description to the author Shelly page. But yeah, I guess I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned a little bit. Again, if you want to subscribe to either, you can. I won't be hurt if you leave this channel. It's just up to you. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. If you guys enjoyed this content of me being very personal with you and very real, go ahead and leave a like, comment down below. Subscribe to this channel. I feel so weird doing this, but I need to do it going forward. But yeah, that's honestly what you can expect from the author Shelly and the Chaotic Kitz channel. Yeah, it's gonna be a whirlwind trying to get all this set up. But I hope you guys will stick around. Because life is beautiful and you never know what's going to happen. And so I'll end this with my favorite tag of remember to keep making fantasies happen one story at a time. And I hope you guys will stick to it, because I'm doing it and I really want to make my own fantasies come true. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a lovely day, and I will see you guys next time, okay? Bye!